Well, I loved it. It's a great book right from the beginning. You start, you open the first page, and this guy Dan, he's ready to throw his daughter out of his house. Right?
Mm.
It is strange. And I said, really, is he going to kick her out? Is he crazy? She's basically a high school girl. She's gone to some drinking parties, and she has cut a few classes, which is a problem I can see. But to
Yeah,
kick her out of the house because of that, isn't it going too
yeah.
overboard?
But as you read on, of course, you find out that Dan brings a lot of troubles from his own past. He worries about his teenage daughter because she's drinking too much. She is drinking too much. But he worries a lot because his own mother had a terrible drinking problem. And in fact, she deserted the family when he was only 17 years old, right? She
So,
leaves a note, leaves the family, and just disappears. So
mm-hmm.
now his daughter, who bears a striking resemblance to his missing mother, she's drinking too much, and he's in a panic because consciously or unconsciously, he's pretty sure that some kind of a disaster is going to happen again. Yeah.
So his past is affecting his present relationships, right? Does that
As we,
happen a lot in real life too?
yeah, well, as you know from your own psychiatry practice and from mine, that often people tell stories where their past is really affecting their present in ways they're not really aware of.
Yeah.
And Dan, I mean, he knows something terrible happened with his mother, but he's not really understanding what he's doing with Cordelia, that he's so panicked and it's because of his mother.
Yeah. Well, it's not only with the patients. I see it all around, in people I know, meet them in drawing rooms and you know them personally, they
Yeah.
behave strange ways and you wonder whether, something's coming from the past.
Yeah, well, we all carry our past with us, for better or for worse, right?
hmm So how
Yeah.
do kids handle this situation? How did Cordelia handle it?
Cordelia, yeah, that is her name. And of course, I borrowed her name from Shakespeare's play King Lear, because King
Ah.
Lear has three daughters. Two of them are self-centered and evil and scheming. But the third daughter is Cordelia. She is sweet and kind and good-hearted. And that's the kind of a character I wanted to create.
How does Cordelia handle them?
Yeah, well, as we both know from our practices, people have strong reactions when a parent becomes rejecting, and Dan is becoming very critical and rejecting. She has her reactions. Number one, she's drinking too much. And number two, she keeps a suitcase packed under her bed, ready to leave at a moment's notice. So ironically, he's driving her out of the family, which is exactly what he fears.
Yeah. So, how did you change this story into a novel? What is the process? What is your process of writing a novel?
Well, I like to start with pen and paper. I like to go down to my favorite pond and sit there with a pen and paper and think and daydream and scribble some notes. And after that, I come back to the house and then I start to put my notes onto a laptop. I have three main characters in the book, of course, Dan, his daughter Cordelia, and his missing mother. And he starts getting clues about the possible whereabouts of his mother. So she starts to figure more prominently in the book as we move along. And in order to keep track of all these characters, I did a little color coding scheme, as you can see up here.
Yeah.
I've got Dan is yellow, Cordelia is white.
Wow.
There's Dan, Cordelia, Dan, and then Danny. We flash back to 17-year-old Danny. He's pink. And I did this because I didn't want to have too many chapters in a row from a single point of view and lose the other points of view.
Yes. So what is the take-home message for your reader?
The take-home message? That's a good question. I did an interview with a local newspaper recently, and she said, what's the take-home message of all your books? Because I've written a couple books on psychotherapy, as you know. She caught me off guard. I didn't have an answer. But the more I think about it, especially with this book, there is a message. I've got all these people struggling basically with family bonds. So first of all, I want the reader to reflect and say, these bonds are so powerful. Dan hasn't seen his mother in 30 years. And he's still thinking about her and reacting to her absence, to her desertion of the family. Second, all these people are making bad decisions, bad choices in the book. And I'm kind of challenging the reader to say, all right, I don't really approve of what they're doing. I mean, Dan's acting like a terrible, angry parent, and his mother abandoned the family. But I'm saying to the reader, can you look at these people, and if I show you where they come from, can you have some compassion for them, and maybe compassion for your own family?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Basically, this is what I liked was the characters in the story. When you first, are introduced, they seem like your next door neighbors, but as it goes on, you kind of understand that these are more complex, and they're unique in their own way, just like all of us. And you find that apart from these three, that there were other characters too, which I liked a lot. The charismatic psychiatrist was great. The three aunts were hilarious.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff in this book. I think it's really fun, and I also think that it could be like a good contribution to literature, because it's bringing something new.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, Pankaj.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you.